Dear children, welcome to our YouTube channel Vidya for Success. In this video, let us continue our study on the cell organelles of eukaryotic cell. Yes, now we have one of the cell organelle to study, that is ribosomes. Children, this particular cell organelle can be seen in eukaryotic cell as well as prokaryotic cell. Clear? So we have already discussed regarding the endoplasmic reticulum. So there we have seen the presence of ribosomes forms the endoplasmic reticulum into rough endoplasmic reticulum. So what is the actual structure of these cell organelles? So ribosomes are granular structures. So these are just like a granules. And these granular structures first observed by George Palade. So in the year 1953. So when he was observing the cells under the electron microscope, he found some of the granular structures. And those granular structures are nothing but ribosomes. So where do we find actually this structure? What is the location of ribosomes? So ribosomes are actually present in the cytoplasmic region. So in the cytoplasm we can find the ribosomes, and also they are present on the surface of endoplasmic reticulum, and also we can find this structure in some of the cell organelles like in the chloroplast ribosomes are present, and in mitochondria also we can see the ribosomes. Clear? So these ribosomes are actually composed of two components. One is RNA and another one is protein. So RNA is nothing but ribonucleic acid and some proteins together forms the structure of ribosomes. So cell need to form ribosomes means it need RNA and protein. So these two components together forms the structure of ribosomes. You can find in the diagram. So the first diagram is actually showing the structure of ribosomes. So you can find the presence of RNA there, and also it consists of protein. These are non-membrane bound cell organelles. So there is no particular membrane to the cell organelle. So you can see here there is no any particular membrane. So because of the absence of membrane, it is called as non-membrane bound cell organelle. So in prokaryotes as well as in eukaryotes, we can find the presence of ribosomes. Clear? So this is the single cell organelle can be seen in prokaryotes as well as eukaryotes, but the type of ribosome is not same. Understood? So what is the actual structure of ribosomes here? So you can find two subunits here. Is it not? Just you observe the second diagram. So two subunits are actually going to form the structure of ribosome. So what is the bigger unit you are observing in the diagram? That is called as bigger subunit or larger subunit, and just above the larger subunit we have small subunit. So large subunit and small subunit together forming the complete structure of ribosome, so that each of the ribosome consists of two subunits. Clear? One is larger subunit and another one is smaller subunit. So let us see what type of ribosome can be seen in eukaryotic cell. So in the eukaryotic cell we can find ATS type of ribosomes. Clear? So in the cytoplasm I am telling, in the eukaryotic cell the cytoplasm consists of ATS type of ribosome. So here children, you have to understand why it is named as ATS type. S is nothing but Swedberg unit. So actually the ribosomes are categorized based on their sedimentation. So according to that, the sedimentation property of the eukaryotic ribosome is less compared to prokaryote. So in the prokaryote, ribosome going to sediment very soon. Understood? So because of that, we have divided the ribosomes into two types. So ATS type of ribosome is actually present in eukaryotic cell. So S is nothing but what? Swedberg unit. This is the unit used to represent the ribosome. Clear? And it consists of two subunits in the eukaryotes. The largest subunit in the eukaryote is named as 60S subunit. You can have a look into the diagram, the second diagram. So the largest subunit in the eukaryote is 60S type and the smallest subunit is 40S type of subunit. And if you see the prokaryotes, the type of ribosomes is 70S type of ribosome. So what are the subunits present here? 50S and 30S subunit. So these two subunits together forming 70S type of ribosomes in prokaryotes. Understood? So 70S type of ribosome is not only present in eukaryotes, it also present in some of the cell organelles like mitochondria and chloroplast. So in the eukaryotic cell, the mitochondria as well as chloroplast consist of 70S type of ribosomes. But in prokaryotes, 70S type of ribosomes are present in the cell. What is the function of ribosomes? So ribosomes are the structures, they help in protein synthesis. So proteins are nothing but the macromolecules. So those structures are actually prepared in the cell with the help of ribosomes. So without ribosomes, we can't expect the synthesis of proteins. So that ribosomes are called as protein factories because they help in the synthesis of protein in cell. So whatever the proteins required by the cell, those are synthesized with the help of ribosomes. And let us move on to the one more structure in the cell, that is cytoskeleton. So if you take human body as an example, so our body consists of skeletal system. So skeletal system giving support as well as it is giving proper shape to the body. So in the similar way, cell consists of skeleton, but it is not made out of bones. Clear? But this skeleton is made out of proteinaceous structure. So the structure is named as what? Cytoskeleton. So where do we find these structure? So cytoskeleton, the name itself suggesting that these skeleton present in the cytoplasmic region. So we can see in the diagram. So just you observe the diagram. So you can find the plasma membrane on the outer side. Very next to the plasma membrane we have cytoplasm, jelly-like substance. So cytoplasm is the place where we can find all the cell organelles, right? So in that region, in the cytoplasm, the diagram is showing the networks, is it not? So those networks are nothing but cytoskeleton. So this skeleton, cytoskeleton is present in the form of network in the cytoplasmic region. Clear? So this network is actually made out of a filamentous protein in the cytoplasm. So filamentous structure is present in the cytoplasm. That filamentous structure is made out of what? Protein. So filament is nothing but a thread-like structure. So this thread-like structure connects one end of the plasma membrane with the another end of the plasma membrane by running through the cytoplasmic region, so that many filamentous, they are going to form a huge network in the cytoplasm. That network is named as cytoskeleton. Then what is the use of this skeleton in the cell? So when we talk about the skeleton, we always talk it is giving support to the body. That means it acts as a framework to our body. So how the skeletal system acts as a framework in the human body, the cytoskeleton in the cell involved in many functions such as it gives support, it helps in motility, and it maintain the cell shape. So the proper cell shape is actually maintained by the cytoskeleton, and it also helps in motility. So the movement of the things within the cytoplasmic region in a proper way is takes place with the help of cytoskeleton. Then it gives support. So why the cell organelles are present in particular location in the cytoplasmic region? Because of this skeletal structure. Clear? So it is giving support to the cell. So because of this, the cell organelles are located in their particular position. Understood? So this is regarding the cytoskeleton. So this is the proteinaceous filament found in the cytoplasm. It gives lots of additional support, motility, as well as it maintains the shape of cell. Then let us move to the one more cell organelle, that is cilia and flagella. So cilia and flagella are the air-like outgrowths of cell membrane. So where do we find the cilia and flagella? So we can find these two structures in prokaryotes as well as in eukaryotes. If we take the bacteria as an example, there we can find the presence of flagella. Is it not? It is a locomotory organelle in the bacteria. In a similar way, eukaryotes also consist of flagella and cilia. You just look into the diagram here. So you can find some of the protista on the screen. So the first example is euglena and the second one is paramecium. So euglena showing the flagella for locomotion and paramecium consists of cilia for movement. So what we can understand here is these two air-like structures, outgrowths of the cell membranes, are present in prokaryotes as well as in eukaryotes. So now we are talking about uh, the flagella and cilia in the eukaryotic cell. Clear? So cilia are the small structures causing the movement of either cell or surrounding fluid. So you take the example of paramecium, the second diagram what you are observing here, second protista, that is paramecium. So on the surface of paramecium we can find a small A's. So those A's are cilia. They are many in number. So these cilia together helps in the movement of organism in water, and also it helps in engulfing of food. Clear? And flagella are comparatively longer. So if you compare the structure of flagella with the cilia, flagella is actually longer and it causes the cell movement. So movement of cell is caused by flagella. So the whiplash movement, the movement caused by the flagella is whiplash movement. So the whiplash movement of flagella helps in the movement of cell, so that both the structures they helps in locomotion in different organisms. Clear? So prokaryotic bacteria possesses flagella, but they are structurally different from that of eukaryotic flagella. So as I told you, we can find the flagella in prokaryotes as well as in eukaryotes, but the structure of flagella is not same in both the case. That is different. In the flagella, prokaryotic flagella is different compared to the structure of eukaryotic flagella. Clear? Function is same, but they are different in structure. So now let us have a look into the structure. So here we have the structure of flagella. So if you take the transfer section of flagella and observe under the microscope, we can find the structures like this. So what are the structures we can find here? So membrane is present, outermost membrane, and very next to that circular structures will be present, and some of the circular structures are present in pair and some are present in single. Clear? And also we can find the spokes. So these are the some structures what we can find here. So let us talk about those structures of the flagella. So what is the outermost membrane of flagella? So flagella covered by outermost membrane that is named as plasma membrane. So plasma membrane is the outermost protective covering of the flagella. And what is actually protected by plasma membrane? So it protects the inner region of flagella. That inner region or core is named as axon. So the central core region, very next to the plasma membrane, we can find the core region that is named as axon. So whatever the things are there very next to the plasma membrane, that region is named as axon. So axon will be consist of number of microtubules. So there are many microtubules we can find in the axon region. So those microtubules always running parallel to long axis. They are not uh, they are not touching with each other in any point. Clear? So they are very parallel with one another. So those structures present in the axon region are named as microtubules. Understood? So microtubules arranged in two different regions in the axon. So some of the microtubules we can find they are present towards the plasma membrane, and some of the microtubules we can find they are present towards the center of axon. Clear, right? Yes. So the axons what are present towards the peripheral region, those are present in pair. You can find the pair of microtubules present towards the periphery. So the peripheral microtubules are named as doublets. Clear, right? Because they are present in pair. So the axon name has 9 pairs of doublets. You just count the number of doublets present in the periphery. How many are there? 9 microtubules are there. 9 doublet microtubules are there. So they are peripherally arranged. Their position is periphery. That means they are present towards the plasma membrane. Clear, right? And you can find each of the doublet microtubules, they are connected with one another. They are connected with the help of bridge. So there is a bridge is there that interlink one doublet microtubule with the adjacent microtubule, so that peripherally located 9 doublet microtubules are interlinked with one another, just like a cycle spoke. So how the cycle spokes are interconnected with one another, in the similar way we can find the peripheral microtubules, doublet microtubules are interlinked with one another. And you can find a pair of singlet microtubules are located towards the center. So they are not present in pair, right? So the two microtubules are present towards the center, so that one of the structure that is actually separating the central microtubule with the peripheral microtubule. So that sheath like structure, red colored sheath like structure what we can find in the diagram is named as central sheath. So central sheath separates the central single microtubules with the peripheral doublet microtubules. Understood? And this kind of arrangement is called as 9 plus 2 array. So outer 9 doublet microtubules and centrally located single microtubule. So this kind of arrangement in the flagella is named as 9 plus 2 array. They are actually arranged in 9 plus 2 array. Clear? And we can see the central microtubules are connected with the peripheral tubules. So as I told you, in the cycle wheel, the central ring is connected with the peripheral spokes, right? In the similar way, the central microtubules in the flagella, they are connected with the peripheral doublet microtubules with the help of spoke. So those spokes are named as radial spokes. So you can find in the diagram. So radial spokes are actually connecting the peripheral microtubules with the central microtubules. So this type of arrangement as well as the connection helps in the proper movement of the flagella. So when the microtubules move in the organism, this will causes the movement of flagella, so that it is considered as a locomotory organelle. So for locomotion, what are the things are needed, those are actually present in the flagella. So because of these microtubules, the proper movement of flagella takes place in the organism. Clear? So the peripheral doublets interconnected with bridge. So as I told, every microtubule present in the peripheral region, they are interconnected with one another with the help of bridge. Clear? So this is the complete structure of flagella. So I'll repeat once again. So the transverse section of flagella shows the outermost membrane called as plasma membrane. So next to the plasma membrane, the inner region is present, that is named as axon. So in the axon, we can find the number of microtubules. There are two types of microtubules are there. Peripherally located 9 doublet microtubules and centrally located single 2 microtubules. So each of the doublet microtubules in the periphery, they are connected with each other with the help of a bridge, and uh, the centrally located microtubules are separated with the peripheral microtubules with the help of central sheath, and spokes, radial spokes, they will connect the peripheral microtubules with the central single microtubules. Clear? So this arrangement, 9 plus 2 arrangement of microtubule is called as 9 plus 2 array. Clear? So I hope you understood today's session. Go through this video, practice the concepts properly. Thank you.